be a great conversation. So, folks, invite you to stay tuned. We're going to be talking about two different things, but they sound like they are what you might call completely different topics. But watch how cool I tie this in.
Work your magic.
Work the magic. Here, watch this. And you tell me if this isn't a beautiful segue, right? So, so we're going to be talking about diabetes, but we're also going to be talking about how we accomplish the things in our lives, how we manifest, how we create, and how we apply discipline, in a sense, to be able to achieve our goals. So the listeners here might say, okay, what does one thing have to do with another? So this is fascinating. And by the way, I know I joke a little bit, but I want to be serious here for a few moments in saying this, that every physical problem we have, there's an emotional manifestation. For the physical, there's an emotional corresponding element, and it's all tied together. And a lot of times we don't realize that. So what is the emotion behind diabetes? And that's the question. So listeners, for those of you out there that either have diabetes, or some of you that know someone that have diabetes, I want you to pay close attention to this, because by the end of this show, we will talk about the processes to not only help yourself physically, but also to adjust emotionally to the transition of getting away from this dreaded disease. So the emotional causation for a diabetic is someone who feels like the sweetness in life is behind them. Like the best part of their life, the best parts of their experiences are now in the past. And they're feeling as though the future doesn't hold the same promise and brightness that the past has held. And that is literally what the emotional causation, when you look at sort of the map, and this was a great book by author by the name of Louise Hay, that talks about how emotion and physical are all tied together. You remember that?
Yes.
Right, Jocelyn. So you remember that. What do you remember about that book?
So I actually have a little link on my phone, to like just her list of, this correlates with that. One that I remember off the top of my head is having a slip disc. Mm-hmm. It means that you're very indecisive.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Wow. I've got to get that link. I didn't know a link existed like that.
I'll look for it.
Oh, yeah. Man, I have to totally get that link because one of the things that I'm a strong believer in is that if I meet someone and they say that they have a certain illness or disease or whatever, I immediately go to that part of my head, that little encyclopedia that says, okay, you've got a lower back problem. Okay, so you're indecisive and you've got some money issues, right? So, because I'm not kidding. One time I had a meeting, and there was, and this is like part of the book. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm writing this book on ninja communication. So when that book comes out, guys, it's going to be a killer book, because it talks about how we can learn from the person in front of us. We're reading body language, handwriting, all these different nuances, right? So this gentleman comes in my office, and he's coming in to negotiate a business deal with us. And he comes in, and he's, getting up and, and he's talking real macho, like he's got all this money to spend. And then my partner walks into my office, and he tries to get up to greet him. And as he gets up, he winces, and he goes, oh. And he goes, oh, man, my lower back's been bothering me for a while. And he shakes his hand and kind of sits down very carefully. Now, see, under normal circumstances, that would not be something that would have raised an eyebrow, because people have lower back problems all the time. But this gentleman was talking about his financial ability to do a deal with us. And as soon as I saw the lower back problem, I said, you are having a money issue, my friend. and it changed the trajectory of that conversation. And immediately knew that there was an issue with that. So that's the beauty of sort of understanding emotional causation. So now, Jocelyn, I've got to get that.
I will find it once we take a break.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Okay, so back to our story here, right? So if we lose our sense of the sweetness of the future. And if we are at a place where we just don't feel like there's hope, then that affects our health, and it affects our thinking. So I wanted to ask, well, let's maybe start with Dr. Bailey here. I wanted to ask Dr. Bailey, you are extremely accomplished, and you're very humble about it.
Yeah.
When I heard your resume, I was like, what? So for those who don't know Dr. Bailey yet, can you give us a quick synopsis of sort of what you've accomplished here? And you're only, what, I think 25, 30 right now?
42, almost 42.
And look at her. She doesn't even mind saying her age. What a gal. And so tell us a little bit about your background.
I majored in molecular biology at Hampton University, go HBCUs. After that, I wanted to go into medical school. I always wanted to do it since I was a little kid. I didn't get in the first time I applied, so I worked in a lab at NIH for a couple of years. Tried to get in medical school. I didn't get in. My mom kind of was like, well, why don't you try law school? Because my father's side of the family were mostly lawyers. She's like, I need a lawyer on my team. I knew it wasn't for me, but I kind of applied just to kind of appease her, and got into all the law schools I applied to. So got into Georgetown. I was like, well, I guess I have to go.
Yeah.
And I knew from the first day it wasn't for me, but I was like, let me, go through it, get through it, try it out, and, see if it is something for me. I actually graduated from Georgetown Law, practiced patent law for 3 years, and still in my heart, medicine was where I wanted to be. So I gave the law a try, and I was like, nope, this isn't for me. So I went to medical school at George Washington University. Wow. Graduated from there, and now I'm an emergency medicine doctor here in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah, short,
wow.
Long story short.
So yeah, I was just going to say, so you've had a career as a lawyer, a successful career at that. And then just said, I don't think I want to do this. I'll just go ahead and just be a doctor instead.
I still had that burning desire in my heart, and I knew if I didn't try it one more time, I said, let me at least apply one more time and see what I can do.
Wow.
And got in that time.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
So in the course of this conversation, and we're going to get to the diabetes conversation a little bit later, but I'm curious with both of you ladies in terms of your journey, and maybe what we'll do here, Jocelyn, can you tell us a little bit about your journey, and then we'll take a break, and then when we come back, I'd like to kind of get into this conversation a little bit more. So what's been your evolution?
My evolution, I've never really put it into words. It's just been a lot of change, a lot of roller coasters, a lot of ups and downs, but it's really been it's been an incredible journey. I certainly don't have accomplishments like yourself, but we all have our own journeys, and I am so grateful for the life that I've lived. It's helped me be a kind of person that I can see different views and perspectives of life. I can see where other people are coming from, and so I'm very grateful.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! And I know you do some things in the real estate space and investments and so on. So that's been a nice career for you.
Yes, and it's relatively new. I've now in real estate for 3 years, but I've learned an incredible amount. I've worked with someone named Mark Fuller here in Houston. He's been in the real estate business for 15, 20 years, and he's just been an incredible mentor for me. Yeah.
Outstanding.
It's been a great learning experience.
Yeah, well, that's outstanding because we want to talk about the process of sort of staying focused, and what do you do? What are sort of the processes that you all go through, and particularly Dr. Bailey in your journey? I mean, you said at the outset, I didn't necessarily want to be a lawyer. But obviously you've got to be pretty disciplined. So where did that start in your life? That focus and that discipline.
I guess for my mom, she always she wanted us in private school all the time, wanted us to do well, but she never really pushed us academically. She was like, if you want to go to this really good school and you want to have all these opportunities, you have to work hard and do it on your own. I'm not going to tell you to do your homework. I'm not going to tell you to read books and all that. And I kind of understood it from. She's like, I'm not going to push you. If you want to keep doing these great things, you need to have your own push and desire to do it on your own. So that's kind of where I developed it, and it's helped me through the rest of my life. Yep.
Now, was it because there were just a bunch of achievers in your family, or was it just something that you think was just in your DNA? Or, how did that? No,
I just guess I'm real hard-headed.
Okay.
And real determined, because there are a couple, probably most of my family members were like, why do you keep getting degrees? You don't need any more degrees. Would you stop? the law degree was enough. You're fine. But I was like, no, I still have more out there I want to do. And I've been a doctor for 9 years now, and it's been exactly what I'm going to do. So I've made the right decision ultimately.
Wow. Because, I was talking to someone last week who's also quite accomplished and relatively young. And what was interesting in the conversation with her, she was saying, look, she told me she's African American, and she said that she's the third generation of college graduates, which is kind of a big deal because like her great grandparents would have been like their parents would have been slaves. Yeah. So to have that, and come from that. And she said she said she had 9 brothers and sisters. All of them had like several degrees. I'm like, wow. And just the fact that they were all so driven. Yeah. So, I mean, so to what extent does the environment play in shaping who we become in that way? I
think it's a huge help. There wasn't ever a question, you're going to go to college. It wasn't anything after that, but it was like, you're at least going to go to college. You're going to do that much and go from there. It wasn't a push to like what profession you're going to be and all that, but I think environment helps a lot. It helps a lot to have a supportive background and people to help you out and support you through your goals and dreams. Yeah.
Wow. And what about you, Jocelyn? What's your thoughts around that? Is it nature or nurture?
It's a little bit of both, definitely. Obviously you're going to have some influence from what is around you, be it people or the environment, whatnot. But then there's also, like you were saying earlier, it's like you had a desire inside of you.
Exactly.
So it's like you have that, whatever that might be, and that's what really needs to drive you to wherever it is that you're going. So it's just like, yes, I have, this is what my family looks like, but this is what I want to look like.
Right. Excellent. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to be taking a break here, and when we come back, let's zero in on some of the steps that we need to help our audience, those listening. And folks, we'll invite you to call in as well if you want to weigh in on the conversation on accomplishment and achievement. 832-230-5592, 832-230-5592. Give us a call during the break. We'll take a few calls. We are here at the Natural Nation Network on KYND Radio with Dr. Bailey and Jocelyn sitting in with me today. It's going to be a great conversation. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about diabetes in our second segment coming up shortly.
KYND, committed to our community.
Committed to personal growth.
Committed to giving you a place where you have a voice.
KYND wants to hear from you. What's happening in your community?
Message us now on Facebook or contact us at our website at kyndradio.com.
The InBody is one of the world's most powerful and accurate body composition scales. In a minute or less, the InBody can break down your body weight into muscle, fat, and body water to give you a crystal clear image of your overall wellness. With this information, you can fine-tune your diet and exercise plans to improve your health. Over time, the InBody allows you to create lasting changes to your body composition, which means more health, more energy, and a better overall quality of life. The InBody uses advanced technology to determine your body composition. It passes a small electric current through your body to determine the amount of body water you have. This information is used to reveal your body fat percentage, one of the most important health metrics a person can learn about their body. Discovering your body fat percentage is simply the first step and only scratches the surface of what the InBody can tell you about your health. By independently analyzing your 5 body segments, which are both legs, both arms, and your trunk, an InBody test shows you your body fat and muscle levels for all sections of your body. Is your upper body stronger than your lower? Where do you store your body fat? By taking an InBody test, you'll get answers to these questions. But more importantly, by tracking the impact your diet and exercise have on your body, you'll discover a whole new way of thinking about your health. With a line of professional models, there's an InBody for every organization that seeks to help its members improve their health. Want to find out which InBody is right for you? Visit us online at www.inbody.com.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right. Another day, another chance.
Carla J, inviting you to join the new Sound Off with Carla J as we discuss pop culture, today's music, hottest gossip, sports, and a whole lot more. It's going to be crazy. You'll never know what shenanigans the guys will be up to and who'll be visiting the studio. Thursdays, 6 p.m. here on 1520 KYND.
Apple and Android users, be sure and download the KYND radio app. And don't miss Sound Off with Carla J on 1520 KYND.
The InBody is one of the world's most powerful and accurate body composition scales. In a minute or less, the InBody can break down your body weight into muscle, fat, and body water to give you a crystal clear image of your overall wellness. With this information, you can fine-tune your diet and exercise plans to improve your health. Over time, the InBody allows you to create lasting changes to your body composition, which means more health, more energy, and a better overall quality of life. The InBody uses advanced technology to determine your body composition. It passes a small electric current through your body to determine the amount of body water you have. This information is used to reveal your body fat percentage, one of the most important health metrics a person can learn about their body. Discovering your body fat percentage is simply the first step and only scratches the surface of what the InBody can tell you about your health. By independently analyzing your 5 body segments, which are both legs, both arms, and your trunk, an InBody test shows you your body fat and muscle levels for all sections of your body. Is your upper body stronger than your lower? Where do you store your body fat?
From spring to Sugarland, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
And we are back. You're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio, the kind of talk that inspires change. And that's what we're looking for, the ability to start changing the trajectory of our lives, changing the things that we think about to help us to accomplish great things. So just before our break, ladies, we were talking about the fact that a lot of times we have obstacles that may get in front of us. And then the question is it environmentally influenced? Is it just in our DNA? Some people are smarter than others. So if you could synthesize somewhat of the formula for what pushed you guys forward in your lives and the trajectory of that, what does that look like? I mean, what was that process for you?
I think first was to establish what goals I had and then try to figure out how to get there. Mm-hmm. And then step by step get there. It also helps if you have a mentor or someone that could kind of help you lead you in the right direction, give you good advice and help you along the way, support you along the way. It's good to have a support system. Mm.
So the goal setting process for you, Dr. Bailey, what did that look like?
I knew in my heart I wanted to be a doctor, so I was like, one way or the other, I'm going to try to get there one way or the other. I was like, well, let me try to be a lawyer first. Maybe they'll like that. And that seemed to work. Yeah, it's more of just finding whatever your dream or goal is and trying to figure out how to get there.
Yes. And you mentioned a mentor.
Yes.
So how instrumental is that for you?
It's real helpful if you have somebody to say, hey, this is what you need to change, or they need to look at your resume or what you're doing, and they say, hey, this is what you need to change, or this is what you're doing good, this is what you need to work on to get to that particular goal. If it's somebody that's already been through that process, it's a huge help. They can give you advice or also tell you maybe mistakes they made, and so that you don't make the same mistakes. I mentor quite a few of people trying to get into medical school, so I can help them overcome the obstacles that I went through and try to give them advice. I wrote a book on interview tips for people trying to get into medical school and, do that sort of thing to help people get to the same place I went through, but maybe help them to get there a little easier.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Jocelyn, a little while ago, you mentioned that you had a mentor as well. So what's that experience?
Yes. It was huge. I mean, it is still huge. So, again, his name is Mark Fuller, and we worked together for 1.5 years, and I'm now still under his brokerage. And it's, a lot of people, they get out of real estate really quickly just because it's not what they expected. They didn't do enough research or, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. I think the turnaround rate is about 80% of people are out of real estate within the first 2 years.
Wow.
Right. So to have a mentor, just like you said, it's just like they've already been there. They've done the mistakes. They've tried different things. And so it's just like, great, if you can get that one-on-one time with someone who's genuinely cares about you, your career, your future, to be able to guide you, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's this old expression that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes.
And so many times I think people think they've got it all figured out. But the reality is that, just as you all are saying, you have to really recognize that, hey, if someone's already made these mistakes, I don't have to make these mistakes.
Exactly.
Unless you want to.
Unless you want to. Unless you want to skin your knee and stub your toe and bang your head.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It also helps to know that you might not get there the first try. You might have to try again, like I did. I tried multiple times. If that's what you really want to do, you got to keep trying. Change whatever mistake or problem you had the first time and just keep going for it. And also, if you have a good mentor, you can shadow them in what they're doing and see if that's something you really want to do. That helps huge. If you see some, like when I was in undergrad, I shadowed a cardiac surgeon. So I got to go into a surgery and hold a heart and beat my hand. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is what I want to do. Wow. So if you have those kind of experiences, it motivates you even more to say, hey, this is really what I want to do. So if you have a good mentor that can show you the ropes and let them see what you do on a day-to-day basis, that helps a lot too.
Yes, yes. And you know, Dr. Bailey, I remember in your first interview with me, and you know, you were sharing this, and it's not an easy thing because you've worked in some pretty intense situations in emergency rooms, and you know, we take for granted when we're healthy that we'll never be in that situation. Exactly. But when somebody comes in, whether it's a car accident or cardiac arrest or some other issue, it's your job to stay calm and focus. So how do you decompartmentalize in your mind to be able to do that and not just go, oh my God, freak out time, right?
I guess it comes with the training and the focus. You kind of learn to just focus in on what's going on right then. You forget about all your outside problems, whatever is going on in the ER or whatever is going on. You got to focus on that patient and trying to figure out what's going on with them, how to try to get them better if possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then sometimes after you're like, whoa, I almost wet my pants there. I was rough. But you don't realize it when you're going through it if things were crazy. But the adrenaline's rushing. You've got a great team working with you, and you just get through it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm curious about after, like when you go home, what's your process like to make sure that stays
home? That's a hard thing. Sometimes if it's something really bad, like I've worked cases where we've had a child pass away or a drowning or something like that, and sometimes the team that you're working with needs to come together. People, they hug each other. They say, hey, I understand. We'll talk about our feelings, that sort of thing. Sometimes that helps to get through it. And then I guess over time, I've just learned to try to separate it from work. And then when I get home, I just appreciate home so much more. Like I'll give my daughter extra hugs. It's like, wow, if you're taking care of a really sick child, you appreciate, wow, my child is healthy and I'm healthy. I appreciate life so much better after I get home from work when you see stuff like that too. So it makes me more appreciative of life in general.
Wow. Yeah. That's huge because I think sometimes we just take things for granted.
Exactly.
And we don't realize just how precious life is.
Yeah.
And, I remembered this happened maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, but I was on 59 and it was so surreal, in this moment because it was actually quite tragic in the sense that I saw this it was like a Tahoe or something in front of me or a Suburban or whatever, and it looks like the guy was gonna exit and then he decided not to exit or something, and then he made this sharp turn, and all of a sudden his vehicle just like hit something and went flying up in the air, and I'm telling you it was like slow motion because I was right behind them. And I literally saw him ejected. He didn't have a seatbelt from the vehicle, and then I just saw the truck roll. And it was like when it landed, it had landed back upright, and people had already started stopping, like just to render aid. So I knew that. But I mean, I saw this guy fly out of his vehicle, and I know I saw it on the news later that he tragically was killed.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I'm sitting there thinking, this was a family that was just having a normal day, and then all of a sudden things just went south like that.
Yeah.
And and then the part that I guess bothered me, and I shouldn't even. This is I'm sorry I brought this up now, but the part that really bothered me was I saw the little boy run out of the car. He was fine. He was a little boy about 8 or 9 years old, and he was just freaking out. And
so his dad.
Because someone came and just grabbed him and was holding him. One of and it was just hard to watch, but I still think about that. So I and that was maybe a 4 or 5 second reel in my head that happened as I was passing by this. So I guess I say that to say that I understand like what post-traumatic stress is like, because here it is just 5 seconds in my life that I
never
still
forget about it.
But you don't forget.
Yeah.
And so it's a good question that Jocelyn asked you. How do you get all these images out of your head, or do they just stay in there and replay when you're like drinking soup at night? I mean, what happens?
It depends. Some of them stay in there, and I guess over time it's bad. But sometimes you guys get desensitized to it. You're after a while you get used to it, and you have to learn to separate it so you can take care of the next patient properly, and then take care of your family also at home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So so you just kind of put it in a space in your head.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's difficult. And we talked about this because in this next part of our segment, we want to get into Fit and Fine in no time and address this diabetes issue. But how many of the patients that you see, how many of those are lifestyle choices that they made that got them to the emergency room versus actual emergencies and accidents and stuff? What percentage would you say that
A huge amount is preventable diseases, especially diabetes, hypertension. They cause so many different illnesses that will send people to the ER if they're not taken care of properly. So I'd say a huge majority of my time is spent taking care of things that could have been prevented.
Yeah. Wow. So that's what we want to delve into, folks. We want to talk about how we can prevent some of these diseases and how also we can manage if we are diagnosed with a disease like diabetes. How do we manage that? So we're going to be addressing that, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break so that we can dive into that subject. You're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. We'll be back with Dr. Bailey and Jocelyn Cano in just a moment.
KYND, it's about connection.
It's about community.
It's about empowerment.
It's about you.
The kind of talk that inspires change.
The InBody is one of the world's most powerful and accurate body composition scales. In a minute or less, the InBody can break down your body weight into muscle, fat, and body water to give you a crystal clear image of your overall wellness. With this information, you can fine-tune your diet and exercise plans to improve your health. Over time, the InBody allows you to create lasting changes to your body composition, which means more health, more energy, and a better overall quality of life. The InBody uses advanced technology to determine your body composition. It passes a small electric current through your body to determine the amount of body water you have. This information is used to reveal your body fat percentage, one of the most important health metrics a person can learn about their body. Discovering your body fat percentage is simply the first step and only scratches the surface of what the InBody can tell you about your health. By independently analyzing your 5 body segments, which are both legs, both arms, and your trunk, an InBody test shows you your body fat and muscle levels for all sections of your body. Is your upper body stronger than your lower? Where do you store your body fat? By taking an InBody test, you'll get answers to these questions. But more importantly, by tracking the impact your diet and exercise have on your body, you'll discover a whole new way of thinking about your health. With a line of professional models, there's an InBody for every organization that seeks to help its members improve their health. Want to find out which InBody is right for you? Visit us online at www.inbody.com.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right. Another day, another chance.
This is Carla J, inviting you to join the new Sound Off with Carla J as we discuss pop culture, today's music, hottest gossip, sports, and a whole lot more. It's going to be crazy. You'll never know what shenanigans the guys will be up to and who'll be visiting the studio. Thursdays, 6 p.m. here on 1520 KYND.
Apple and Android users, be sure and download the KYND radio app. And don't miss Sound Off with Carla J on 1520 KYND.
The InBody.
The air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
And we are back. You're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio, and we are interviewing with Fit and Fine in no time. And this second half of our show is going to be dedicated to Dr. Regina Bailey and a program, Doc, that you developed. And perhaps you can give us a synopsis of that. And then let's talk and zero in on one of the illnesses that you're able to work with inside of your program and your protocol.
Okay, sure. Probably about a year ago, actually I was always, I wasn't always, but when I was in law school, I was actually a professional cheerleader for the Redskins. I was in great shape. Then fast forward to time, I had a child, didn't take care of myself after having a child. Last year, I gained a lot of weight. My mom passed away, and I passed away from complications from diabetes and hypertension. And it kind of it took a positive effect on me. And I was like, I have to change my lifestyle if I want to be around to take care of my 4-year-old daughter and to be able to keep up with her. So I hired a trainer. I went on a strict diet, lost 30 pounds, and then decided to start competing in fitness contests. And then after that, a couple women that saw me, my pictures on Facebook, my before and after pictures, they were like, wow, you can be a single mom and have this crazy schedule, work 24-hour shifts and still get in shape and look better and feel better. This is something I can do. You've motivated me to get back in shape and get healthier and that sort of thing. So that's how I started, came up with this company, Fit and Fine in No Time, where I help people lose weight through diet and exercise in a natural and healthy way to get better, and get better shape and feel better and all that.
Wow,
get
that's
fit.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I love the way you slip this stuff in. So I was a professional cheerleader for the Redskins. Really?
Yeah.
Come on, there's women home going, come on. Lawyer, doctor, and cheerleader, whatever. So and folks, how do they see your Facebook page? Because you're pretty, you've got a nice modest dress on, but you're pretty cut.
A little bit. I've got an actual fitness contest this Saturday I'm getting ready for, so
Nice.
Yep. So my Facebook page is Dr. Regina MD JD, and same thing on Twitter and Instagram, same Dr. Regina MD JD.
Awesome. Yep. And we'll repeat that at the end here. So if we can zero in and jump right in, Jocelyn, because I have a tendency to just,
sure.
That's what radio guys do. They just keep talking.
Talk.
All right. But let's talk about diabetes here for just a moment, because it affects everybody, either personally or someone we know is affected. So can you first of all kind of give us sort of the overview of what is diabetes, just so people understand it?
So actually there are two types of diabetes. One is type 1 diabetes. That's the more rare form. It's the form that it's developed in childhood or young adulthood. And that's when the person's pancreas doesn't make insulin properly, and you need insulin to help lower your blood sugar. Type 2 is the more common one that most people know about. That's usually occurs later in life. And that's when is the insulin-resistant diabetes. That's the one where you have enough insulin, but your insulin isn't working properly. So you're not able to lower your blood sugars in your body the way that you need to. That's a general overview. And actually, 1 in 11 people in the country have diabetes, so it's pretty common.
Wow.
About 30 million in the country have type 2 diabetes, so it's a huge problem.
I saw some astounding statistic, and this was a while back, but it said children born after the year 2000 have a 1 in 3 chance of getting diabetes, 33% chance of getting diabetes in their lifetime. That's astounding.
Yes, and I think that's hugely caused by obesity is the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem.
Would you say a lot of that is the mother's lifestyle and diet while they're pregnant with the child?
Not necessarily, because there's gestational diabetes. That's another common thing. It's another type of diabetes, but only occurs during pregnancy. And usually after pregnancy, the diabetes will go away, and the woman won't need to be on any medication after. But it's usually more just lifestyle as a child develops and, eating a lot of fast food or unhealthy diet, and that leads to diabetes earlier.
So it's a common not a misconception, because it's actually true that if you're just eating a lot of sugar all the time, that would cause diabetes. But there's other things too, fried foods, for example, and different carbs and things like that.
Yes,
right?
All of that contributes, because all that breaks down into sugar too. You don't realize it, but those fats and carbs and all are going to break down into sugar, so it accumulates.
Wow.
Except bread, though, right?
I only wish.
Let's give bread a pass.
I only wish.
Yeah. No, look, especially that really soft, juicy.
Yeah.
So I've got a business meeting, and I'm going to be forced to be at an Italian restaurant.
Oh,
can
man.
I have some?
I haven't had any pasta or bread for a couple months. I'm dying.
Oh, wow. That's right, because you're in training.
Yeah.
But the bread does turn into sugar.
Sugar, it does. Yeah, it breaks down into sugar. Yeah.
Wow. And then I hear that the fried foods, of course, also, inflame that, and it not only stimulates diabetes issues, but cholesterol issues.
Exactly,
as well.
and it clogs up your arteries, and that causes even more problems, and it'll cause damage to your heart. So that's how diabetes can eventually cause problems with your blood vessels and lead to even more complications.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Doc, so we could drill down here a little bit and help the listening audience understand the process. What are some of the things that someone can do? Let's say they are what we call a pre-diabetic. Yeah. We hear that term all the time. First of all, what does that mean, a pre-diabetic? Are you a little bit pregnant? I mean, what is that about?
It is kind of a little bit pregnant. It's when the blood sugars are higher than they should be, but they aren't quite high enough where you actually need to start medicine. So it's kind of like a warning sign that you need to do something if you don't want to get to that point where you need to be on medicine. Some doctors will start medication, oral medication, at that time for diabetes, and some will just kind of give you the option of, hey, maybe you should try changing your diet and exercising to get your blood sugar back to normal, and you won't need to be in that spot of having to take medication or insulin.
Wow. So then, let's say that the diagnosis has been made.
Yes.
Now, John, you're a diabetic.
Exactly.
You've got that label on you.
Yeah.
What does John do? Is there a way to reverse it? Is there a way to control it? What are the steps?
First, they shouldn't freak out. It is a manageable and treatable condition. You just have to be meticulous in taking care of yourself. They've got to go to the doctor regularly, have their blood sugar checked regularly. They need to first have a good diabetic educator to show them how to use their glucometer, show them to test their own blood sugar at home, before meals, after meals. Mm-hmm. Depending on how bad their blood sugar is or how bad their diabetes is, they'll need to start medication, either oral medicine or insulin. So it's getting started with a good doctor and a good diabetes educator to talk to them, getting a good diet, and then starting a good exercise program as well.
Wow. So, but is there a way, because this is a question that sometimes comes up, can people get off of these meds once they start?
Yes, actually quite a few people that are obese and then lose a considerable amount of weight are able to get their blood sugars back to normal to the point they don't need to be on medication anymore. So it's very possible. It's hard work, but I think it's worth it in the long run, especially for your long-term outcomes.
Yes. So now, for someone who's diagnosed, what are some of the extenuating complications? What are some of the things that happen once someone is diabetic?
Well, once you're diabetic, once your blood sugars if they stay continuously elevated, eventually you're going to start damaging the nerves in your body. So you're the first thing, one of the most serious things that happens is the nerves in your feet will get damaged. So you won't have the same sensory feelings that you had before. So if you step on a nail or something, you might not feel it or you're not going to recognize it. Ooh. And that gets infected. And when you're diabetic, if you get an infection, it's a lot more serious than someone that gets a regular infection. So you're not realizing that you're hurting yourself. You're getting an infection, and your infection is going to get worse because of the diabetes. So that can cause very serious illness very quickly. Can get septic into the blood. If that gets worse and worse, a lot of diabetics will have their feet and fingers will turn into gangrene. They actually will eventually fall off. Like the tissue becomes dead and fall off. And that's one of the more serious things. And when that happens, diabetics will need to get amputations because those parts of the body aren't viable anymore. So feet, leg, all the way up will need to get cut off. So that's a good way to motivate people to, hey, if you have diabetes, you need to get yourself in check now so you don't have to get to that point.
Right. Wow.
And what's your experience with people who maybe they're not motivated to have a lifestyle change?
Yeah, some people just aren't motivated. It's not, they need, if they don't have a good support system at home, like if they have family members that keep eating a lot of sugar around them, that's going to be difficult for them. So they need a good support system. Sometimes they need a wake-up call. If they do get sick in the hospital or something, they'll say, hey, I really do need to change. Some people are hard-headed. They need some kind of wake-up call. It also helps if they see other diabetics that are, gotten to that point where they are having amputations or other problems, that they kind of get the wake-up call, hey, I need to change things. Wow. Another serious complication is eventually, most diabetics, they also can get hypertension. Your blood pressure is going to get affected by all this happening. And all those combinations can affect your kidneys seriously. And eventually you can end up on dialysis if you don't take care of yourself. And that's another hard complication to deal with, is when your kidneys aren't working anymore.
Wow. Well, that's serious stuff.
Yeah.
So we certainly appreciate just first understanding that. And for listeners, those out there that really need to make a change, let's take another break here. And when we come back, let's talk about what those changes in lifestyle, what some of those steps are, and take the incremental steps to make this happen, folks, because you cannot put a premium on your health. Absolutely. You're listening to Natural Nation here on KYND. We'll be back in just a moment.
KYND, committed to our community.
Committed to personal growth.
Committed to giving you a place where you have a voice.
KYND wants to hear from you. What's happening in your community?
Message us now on Facebook or contact us at our website at kyndradio.com.
The InBody is one of the world's most powerful and accurate body composition scales. In a minute or less, the InBody can break down your body weight into muscle, fat, and body water to give you a crystal clear image of your overall wellness. With this information, you can fine-tune your diet and exercise plans to improve your health. Over time, the InBody allows you to create lasting changes to your body composition, which means more health, more energy, and a better overall quality of life. The InBody uses advanced technology to determine your body composition. It passes a small electric current through your body to determine the amount of body water you have. This information is used to reveal your body fat percentage, one of the most important health metrics a person can learn about their body. Discovering your body fat percentage is simply the first step and only scratches the surface of what the InBody can tell you about your health. By independently analyzing your 5 body segments, which are both legs, both arms, and your trunk, an InBody test shows you your body fat and muscle levels for all sections of your body. Is your upper body stronger than your lower? Where do you store your body fat? By taking an InBody test, you'll get answers to these questions. But more importantly, by tracking the impact your diet and exercise have on your body, you'll discover a whole new way of thinking about your health. With a line of professional models, there's an InBody for every organization that seeks to help its members improve their health. Want to find out which InBody is right for you? Visit us online at www.inbody.com.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right, another day, another chance.
This is Carla J, inviting you to join the new Sound Off with Carla J as we discuss pop culture, today's music, hottest gossip, sports, and a whole lot more. It's going to be crazy. You'll never know what shenanigans the guys will be up to and who'll be visiting the studio. Thursdays, 6 p.m. here on 1520 KYND.
Apple and Android users, be sure and download the KYND radio app and don't miss Sound Off with Carla. KYND 1520, KYNDradio.com.
And we are back. You're listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. Want to thank you for staying tuned. So we've been talking about diabetes and some of the complications. And quite frankly, folks, if you've just listened to Dr. Bailey and you have diabetes and that didn't scare the heck out of you, no, I say that to say, though, that we can be proactive. We can make incremental improvements in our health, and we can start to reverse this trend. So Dr. Bailey, what are some of the things that someone should be thinking about to help to improve their condition?
The first thing is to see their primary care doctor, get established their basic labs, and set goals with that doctor, what they need to do. Do they need to start medicine? Do they need to start diet, exercise, that sort of thing? Are they healthy enough to start exercise? From that point, it would be starting with the diet. They could start off with baby steps. You don't have to do a completely good diet from the start. It's going to be difficult. Maybe start, if you drink a lot of sodas, you drink 1 less soda a day, drink water instead of the soda. Next week, bump it up to 2 less sodas a day. Maybe the week after that, no sodas. Start drinking things that are sugar-free, that sort of thing. Start cutting out carbs or limiting the number of carbs. Maybe try 1 less meal with carbs in it a day, more vegetables instead of something like that. Try eating less fast food, or if you go to a fast food restaurant, and get a salad instead of the Big Mac or the chicken. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Just basics.
Basics, yeah. And you start out with baby steps. You don't have to go full out from the start because that's going to be difficult. Just start out 1 meal a day different.
What about on the fitness side of the equation? What do you do there?
Fitness side, if you find out that you are healthy enough and it's safe for you to start exercising, it's good to find out what you like to do. It's not no use going straight to a gym, enjoying it if you know you're not going to lift weights and not going to enjoy it, or if you're not going to enjoy that particular gym environment. There are different types of gyms for different, like their gyms are just for women, there are gyms that focus on weightlifting. There are gyms that have all kinds of exercise classes. So you first have to figure out what you like. You might like to take Zumba classes. That may be a good fun thing to do. If you're really just starting out with exercise, start with just walking. Take your kids out to the park, walk around the park. That's a good thing to just start. Just start walking 30 minutes a day for 3 times a week. Then try to do more minutes the next week. Try going a little faster. If you have kids, push them in the stroller. It's even more effort and helps increase your heart rate. And then your kids are going to be outside and loving it too. So it's a good thing to do. That's a good way to start off with walking. And then find out what you like from there. Do you want to do exercise classes? Do you want to lift weights? If you can afford to, hiring a trainer is a great idea too. They can keep you motivated and accountable and stay with you and tell you how find out what your goals are and help you focus to get to those goals.
That's excellent. As you're talking, I was thinking how so many times people hesitate to start an exercise regimen because if they've been living a sedentary lifestyle, it's tough to take that first step.
Exactly.
But when you do, I know for me, many years ago when I was, fat and unhealthy, I used to say, oh gosh, I hate this idea of exercise, because I remember the first time I went walking, I felt like there were pins and needles in my legs, and it was all that blood circulating in the
it's not used to it.
My legs, because I was back then I was married. I was like looking at pictures, going, "Who's that fat guy with my wife?" I mean, because you don't realize it's sneaking up on you.
Yeah.
And then one day you wake up and you look in the mirror and you go, "That's not who I am." I'm that skinny guy from high school, and it's not that or sexy girl, as the case might be, and I'm not that anymore. So the question then is, when someone starts, and those listening, we want to encourage you to just stay with it, right?
Start slow and stay with it. Yeah. It's going to get better, and you're going to feel so much better in the end because you're going to be able to do more. You're going to have more energy. It's going to be much better in the long end. So just stay with it. Yeah. It's also good to find an accountability partner. Find a friend that wants to do the same thing, that has the same lifestyle. If you're a mom, find a mom's group. There are a lot of mom's groups in the area that get together at a park every week and they do exercises together, and then the kids get to play together. So different things you can try. If you want to spend a lot of money or no money at all, there's tons of things you can do to still get in shape and exercise and feel better.
The most fun I have is just dancing. That's kept
exactly. Dancing is great too.
That's great. That's great stuff.
Exactly.
Right there. So next week we're turning the music on.
Just dancing.
We're going to do some salsa
dance
here.
party.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so Jocelyn, you did yoga for a while, right?
I did.
What about that? What's your
Well, for me, that was more of a spiritual practice than it was a physical practice. Yeah. And I don't do yoga as much anymore. I just get really busy. But I still do stretch every day and take some quiet time for myself every day. That's super important. And to the note, as far as like getting into that routine of exercise, a lot of it is just our own mental barriers. Yeah. And sometimes we think like if someone needs to lose 100 pounds, they're like, oh my God, that's so daunting. But if you just take your baby steps, it's just like little bit by little bit, just start. And you don't have to deal with all those mental barriers of like, oh my God, it's 100 pounds. Just, all right.
Yeah, say I'm going to do 1 pound this month. Yes. 2 pounds next month. Yeah. Baby steps.
And in 100 months, you are going to but to your point, you have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere, yes.
Yeah.
And you don't want to start full out and then get disappointed and just give up. So baby steps is better to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. I used to say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Exactly. So, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah. So what's the mental shift? What happens in somebody's mind? You were just saying, Jocelyn, is mental. What is that process? What has to happen there for somebody to trigger?
It takes a lot of things. Either a wake-up call, getting yourself sick, seeing someone else sick, or maybe inside when you do start exercising, feeling, wow, you feel better, or you look in the mirror like, oh, I've lost some inches, or my clothes are a little bigger. You kind of get that click, like, okay, this is working. Let me amp it up a little more, or keep going, or try something else too and add to it.
Yeah, I like to think, I remember reading a book some time ago, and it said that of course, we change for one of two reasons, inspiration or desperation.
Yes.
But usually what changes us is a significant emotional event.
Yeah.
And it's just what you were saying, Doc. It's like something major happens in your life, and then all of a sudden, click, you snap, and you're like, okay, I have to make this change.
Yeah. That's what happened when my mom passed. Yeah. Both parents are diabetic hypertension. I was like, wow, I can't, I don't want to, if it's going to be genetic for me, I'm going to be predisposed to it. I don't want to get to that point. I might get it in the future, but let me do everything I can to to not get the diabetes. Let me lose weight and exercise and get feeling better so I can run around after this 4-year-old.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Kids are a big motivator.
They are, yeah.
And what do you think about not having to have some kind of life event to change you or to motivate you and to inspire you?
Well, I think it comes from within.
Yeah.
It has to. I mean, personally, I really subscribe to the visualization practice. You were talking about yoga and that exactly. And one day, Jocelyn, we have to chop it up about that, because the vision board piece is huge.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like, if you can create a picture in your mind, then that can transmute to reality.
Yes.
I mean, has that been your experience?
Oh, definitely. The first time I did a vision board was in 2011, New Year's Day, with a group of friends when I was still living in California. And it was the most powerful vision board I've ever created. I create them every year. And I had waterfalls on there. I had, a relationship on there. I had scuba diving. I had Lake Tahoe. And every single thing on there became reality that year. Every single thing.
Wow.
And so I've used vision boards every year since then.
Yeah, they're an excellent way to motivate you. And you always see it there. And it's like, okay, that's what I'm working toward. Those are my goals. I'm going to get there.
Yes.
Just to have it out there in front of you to see makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, there are processes, and I think just to kind of bring the conversation here to a head, those listening right now, you want to think about incremental steps that you can take. You want to think about a vision board for your health. What does that look like? And what does it look like to be able to run in the park with your kids and grandkids and all of those different things to ensure that you are there for the day. Like for me, it's like, hey, one day I'll walk my daughters across the aisle, and I've had the privilege of doing that once. And when my younger daughter eventually finds the perfect man, and if you're listening right now, I'm just saying, I'm not lowering the bar for you, young lady. Oh, sorry, I digress. So when that happens, I'd love to be there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And for the grandkids and everything else. Okay, Dr. Bailey, this time has gone by very, very quickly.
It did.
But I want to find out, how do folks get in touch with you? How can they connect to you?
My website is www.drreginamdjd.com, DRREGINAMDJD.com. And my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are all the same, Dr. Regina MD.JD. Real easy to find me.
Dr. Regina MD.JD.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So, folks, reach out to Dr. Bailey. Has some incredible ways that you can get your body back on track, get it healthy. Every couple of weeks, every other week, Dr. Bailey will be featured on the show. We'll choose different topics. We'll mix it up with other guests. It's just a pleasure to have her on board.
Thank you so much for having me.
Very knowledgeable, and wow, I can't wait to continue to pick your brain.
Great.
It's awesome. So we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
What date will that be? I think that's, I'll have to look at a calendar.
Yeah.
But not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Dr. Bailey will be back. So folks, be sure to tune in for that. And whenever I can sort of bribe Jocelyn to come out and hang out with us,
pleasure.
I'd love to have you back. It's been an honor and pleasure having you here as well.
Thank
you so much. You've been listening to the Natural Nation Network here on KYND Radio. Be sure to share this program. We've had a little bit of fun, but some real substantive information as well. And we want to encourage you to improve your life. So, folks, stay tuned. Next, we have Up the Chop Shop, the best 120 minutes of your life. We will be back next week with Natural Nation Network right here on KYND Radio.
You're listening to KYND radio station, KYND, inspiring the kind of change to help you live your best life.